Welcome to the Resonate podcast with Aideen. My guest today, Kanika, is a transformational guide who helps visionary entrepreneurs, leaders, and coaches expand their wealth, visibility, and impact. With a background as an engineer and an MBA, she blends grounded business strategy with Akashic wisdom to help her clients gain clarity, attract aligned opportunities, and step powerfully into their next level of purpose and expansion. Welcome, Kanika. How are you?
I'm doing so well. Thank you for having me on the show, Aideen.
Oh, it's so great. And it's so lovely to see you combining, you know, the strategy, the MBA, obviously the logical linear, this is the path we're supposed to take, from a family perspective. I bet your parents were very happy when you chose to study all of that, but it has evolved from there. And now there's something to do with magic in your work. Akashic Records is something not everybody even understands. And you're mentioning it here in your bio. Tell us more about what drew you from that linear world into this new expression of yourself.
Yeah, so I would just say in a short sentence that life happened. um, I was in my mid 30s, successful, if you would see Facebook or LinkedIn. And inside, my world wasn't that. If I paint a picture at that time, my son was 2 years old. I was married. I was also pregnant with my daughter. And life seemed okay on the outside. But inside, my marriage was crumbling. I had a business at that time that wasn't doing well. And I was really questioning myself, what I was doing. And then I lost my daughter at 31 weeks. So I had to give stillbirth to her. It was hard. It was painfully hard. But I can say that it was also such a moment of grace. And I know it's hard to understand. But, before that, I knew my life was hard. I was trying to make sense of my life. I was trying to, just be happy or even not cry every day because that time I was waking up every day and I just felt completely meaningless in life and I was just crying for no reason. But when I lost her, that was probably the first time I could pause and I could just cry. It was overwhelming. That grief, that shock was overwhelming. I was so guilty because I lost my daughter when I was sleeping and I was feeling so guilty as a mom. So it was so much of a crumbling moment, but I needed that massive crumbling in my life to be able to just really think that something's got to change. And that time, guilt was driving me. I wanted to really connect with my daughter, say sorry to her, have a chat with her, tell her, hey, I loved you, because I felt now so guilty about so many things. I felt guilty about sleeping when she was passing away. I felt guilty about not telling her I love you when she was with me because I was so busy running around. So that is the time when I really started diving into energy healing and Akashic records, like all these modalities, because I wanted to connect with her. This was the first time my MBA engineer mind was open to this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned them because I wanted to connect with my daughter myself. But here's the beautiful thing, I connected with her, and I remember our conversation, and I said, hey, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I wasn't there. And this is the most liberating thing that she said to me. She said, well, it wasn't your fault. And I said, what do you mean? She said, no, I was never meant to be born. So she and I had an agreement well before I incarnated in this lifetime. Our agreement was that if I was not following my path, if I was wasting my life, that she would come and wake me up. So
Wow.
she tried, and I wasn't still listening. And then she had to pull like the big thing out. And this is how I listen. So I'm so glad that she did, because my life before that and after that has really changed. I'm still in touch with my daughter. She guides everything that I do. But life is so drastically different. I'm excited. I am inspired every day. And that's what I share with the world as well.
What a journey, and what a heart breaking but heart opening
Yeah.
that you went through. It's so interesting. Not very many people close their eyes and pause and ask to hear from their loved ones, right? They we kind of expect to see a sign maybe, or we hope. But when we can allow the energy of our loved ones be around us, because I believe they're always around us.
Yes.
So my grandmother has been a force in my life since she died as well, when I was about 12 or 13 years old. And I now can sense when her energy is near me, and the love that she has for me. But it's funny because you don't know it's there at all until you quieten your mind and you maybe make that request. And so you gave yourself permission to connect directly with your daughter. So you didn't want to go to a medium. You didn't want someone else to be a conduit for that connection. Why was that so important to you?
Well, to be honest, I really tried it in the beginning because that's the easier way. I wanted to connect with my daughter, and I did go to a lot of other intuitives and mediums. And they would say, well, we are talking to your daughter and she's doing this. And it just did not feel right. Not that they were not doing the right things, but it was very much like, well, she's my daughter. I've lost my touch with her. I want to have a conversation with her. And I had no idea about this whole world. I had been a very logical thinker till then. But that is the time when I was starting to step into the universe and just going like, you've given me this. And I had a 2-year-old son at the time. So I didn't want to really, I actually thought of ending my life. Seriously, contemplated that, like full on made a list. But then, of course, my son's there and I didn't want to go out on him. And so my conversation with the universe would be, well, you've given me this, and you better give me a way that I can talk to my daughter. Not in an angry form, not in a pleading form, but it was very much like a mom talking to the universe. And it was like, I deserve this. It
Hmm.
came with that deep sense that, come on, I've never got to hold her. But to be able to live through this, I deserve to be able to speak with her. And there was certainty about it. I still don't know how, but there was full on certainty about this, that I need to speak with her, just the way I can speak with my son. And so that's how this teacher crossed my life. And I started learning from him. And it was very quick when I could just converse with my daughter. Um, And that was important because I really wanted to feel her and have a direct conversation with her. The other thing that I said at that time was, because I was so new starting with all of this, I also made a very specific intention that when she comes in and when she's around me, I really need to know that she's around me. Like, not just a whiff of air, not just a feather, that I'm guessing, but I really need to know that she's there. And this is so interesting, because she and we never really had living moments together. We really never had anything that bound us together. But there was a tea that I used to drink when I was pregnant with her, and that's made of that's sort of like a licorice tea. It was a herb that I got from India. That was the herbal thing that I used to have. And so even till date, when she is coming, I'll just feel that taste, and such a out of the world taste. Like, I don't have any licorice in my pantry or nothing. And so all of a sudden that taste would come and I would go like, okay, this is unmistakably her.
Wow. That's such a blessing to have that connection, isn't it? And it obviously has changed your whole way of living and working since then.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like me before that, after that, so different. I wouldn't say like it just changed, day one. I started talking to her and things changed. It didn't happen like that. But when I could converse with her, the first thing that happened was that I could give myself permission to not feel guilty. Like when she said that it's okay, that you did nothing wrong, that was such a huge thing. And then whatever I needed to do, instead of thinking it that, oh, I lost her, it was more like, well, I've got her. And, this is the higher guidance. And then it was more around finding peace, purpose, because I didn't believe in myself till then. I was so like a person who's contemplating suicide. They really have no hope. They have no meaning. It's like it's below zero,
Yeah.
the status. um, so it was so far down. I mean, if you told me that I would be doing this podcast or I would be inspiring other people one day, I would have laughed at that. That made no sense. But yet, when she could say that, and then she said that, no, you have a bigger purpose. I came to wake you up because you have a bigger purpose. This is what you've got to do. I couldn't fully understand that, but I could believe that she saw some bigger light in me. And then I wanted to do that first for myself, for my son, just to raise him happily. Then through the process, I became a lot more open. And really, for me, what I think now sounds a cliche because so many people say it, that you are unpeeling layers of yourself and you're really remembering who you are. But that's what started happening because as life had grown up, I really became the version others wanted me to be without even remembering, knowing who I was. And then those layers, because I was getting that guidance, I could let all of that go and slowly, oh, this is what I want. This is who I am. That started emerging out of that pile of debris. Then the light started coming out.
Well, I'm very glad it did. Very, very glad it did. So, what was the first um, most surprising thing that happened that kind of you allowed to happen out of that unfurling, that flowering and that blossoming of your real self?
Oh, lots of things. Lots of things. And it wasn't pretty in the beginning at all. Um, It's like a tornado of clearing. I really would say that. It's like a tornado of clearing because the reason I was feeling so shitty was because the world around me was shitty and I had allowed it to be shitty.
Mm-hmm.
So the first tornado clearing was realizing that, oh gosh, there's so many people who are in my space who are violating my boundaries and I have allowed that. So it was a lot around, well, I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want this. It wasn't pretty at all.
So you had to
I
start
did,
expressing yourself a lot differently in your relationships and have more of a
yeah,
voice, right?
yeah. I remember my husband at the time because we were married then. And I remember him saying that, I don't think you're doing it right because it's supposed to give you peace. And in my head, I was thinking, no, now it's made me more confident to be able to really talk about my boundaries. So the first thing that I did was walked out of the relationship that was not serving either of us. And I was staying in there because I felt we had a young child and I felt, that was the best environment to bring him, to give him a home with both the parents there. And the first layers were understanding that, well, everybody needs to have their own boundaries. Everybody needs to have a space where they feel safe being seen, being heard, being themselves. And then that is also the legacy that you leave for everybody else. So rather than give my son a space where he was sensing chaos or conflict, even though we were not fighting in front of him, but they sense it.
Mm-hmm.
So rather than giving him that place, give him a space where he's seeing his parents being happy in their own lives. And that's what we did. That was the first thing. Not pretty to begin with, but it's pretty now. And it became pretty very soon. Once I could let that whole unpeeling happen, it was a lot more easier space for all of us.
Wow. Yes. And did it take how long was it before you started working in this area for yourself and helping other people?
I think I did about 8 odd years of just this own inner healing work. And when I talk about my work, so there was a psychic school that I was attending at the time. So I went from teachers to teachers and literally learned whatever they had to teach me. So I graduated from my first teacher. Then I went on to this whole school that has a program on clairvoyance. Then they had another program on teaching clairvoyance, and I didn't particularly do it to teach anybody, but I just kept doing it because it helped my own inner world so much. Like the stuff that I was doing, it was massive. I walked out of my marriage, and I did not really take things from my ex. But I started a completely new life. I was able to get a mortgage for my home, buy my own place. I was able to get promotions for myself, repeated promotions. I was able to get into jobs that I liked. So life was really going well. The more I was able to shift my inner world, really peel off the layer that was not needed, the more there was space to allow the things that I needed or wanted to come in. And that was happening more and more. So I just kept doing this. After a while, life got comfortable, good, but I still kept doing it because by now I had tasted the poison.
You're addicted to the energy. It's coming to you. You want to hold on, right?
Yeah, so I wanted to learn new things, and I went on, did some certifications. Like I just dived into it more and more and more. And then there was this voice that became really strong that you should become a coach and you should teach this. And for a while, I didn't listen to it. Like I was like, this is just a hobby. This is just something that I'll do on the side. And I did that, but the voice did not go away. Neither did my excitement in seeing people transform really go away. And then it just started getting louder. And then one day I had to, and circumstances happened as well that I just had to take a sabbatical and go, okay, let me try this now and do this.
Yes. And you did. And now here we are. I know that you run events and you bring people together. But what is your favorite part of the work that you do now?
Well, I love having people transform. I love watching them transform. Like my passion now is to help people have more money, have more visibility, especially heart led entrepreneurs, especially the leaders who really want to create that change. I want to help them have that visibility, have that impact that they've been craving for. So it brings me a lot of joy because I know that when I healed myself, the more I healed myself, the more I healed and helped everybody around me. I've helped my family, I've helped my son, I've helped um, even friends who just watch, even people who just watch, they get a different way of seeing things. So it is such a healing. I know from the deeper healing work that I've also healed ancestral generations and their traumas. So it is massively empowering. And when I'm able to do that or see that happen for someone else, it lights me up in so many ways because we often see just the one person, but there's such a big ripple effect that's happening that lights me up. Just the fact that we're having this conversation and somebody else might listen to it and might give them some nugget that changes their life, that lights me up.
Hmm. And I know that a lot of us have spent too much time holding ourselves back, and visibility requires a certain amount of courage. So, how do you help people find that courage?
Ah, such a deep question. Because, like you said, visibility is so much around, first of all, just getting really okay with who you are. That's the
Hmm.
first step. And often we might think that we are okay, we are comfortable with who we are, but we're not. I'll give you an example before I dive into the business side of it. It's a very personal story. I remember walking out of my marriage, and this is when I'm sitting with a friend and we're just having lunch together. And he's asking me, well, what would you like to have for lunch? And I had been so used to giving to others, I really had to think. Honestly, I had to think what I wanted to eat because before that, not that anybody was pressurizing me, but I'd always thought of someone else. What would they like? What would my son like? Because in case he's not having his meal, then maybe he'll have mine, you know? So it
Yes.
took me time. And that's the first thing that I see with clients or anyone who wants to be visible. First of all, understand who are you? What is it that you want to offer? Because when you tap that, that will light you up when you are really in resonance with your essence. It took me a while to find out my favorite food. Now I have no problem saying that. Now I have no problems posting on social media because I know that I love transforming people. I know that I love talking about money or visibility. I know I love talking about, this is how you create an impact. That's my jam. That's what inspires me, fuels me. But that stuff that you are really excited about, that is your stuff. So first figure that out, and to figure that out, you have to first unpeel layers of you. But once you've got that, then it's easier to be visible. And then there might be other blocks after that, as you know, I'm sure.
Yeah.
There could be blocks around, well, I don't want to be seen so much. I don't want to be seen at all. I can't say this. This will upset people. There are other things that come with it, but it's just more and more stepping into or allowing yourself to be you rather than
Yes.
anything else. Just
Trusting.
giving yourself permission. Yes, trusting, giving yourself permission to
Mhm.
be seen.
Yes. And what we're talking about there with even choosing something that you like and that idea of making a choice. A lot of people avoid making choices, and it's easier, right, to go along with, oh yeah, they want to go to this place, or I know even, in conversations with my own husband, there's times where I'm just like, well, he seems to want to do that, so I'll just go along with it. And then after a few times, that might have happened, I kind of get irritated, and the irritation is just my soul going, when are you going to just admit you want to do something different, right? When are you going to just say, why don't you go to the movies by yourself to watch that superhero, thing that I don't really care about? And we know each other better now because I was able to find the courage to express my interest, express my choice. And it's okay if someone is put out originally. They might be like, well, no, I'm going to the movies by myself. But that's good too. Maybe you find a friend to go with. So people will adjust around us when we start making those changes. And I feel like what most people don't understand is when you connect in with your highest good, even if there is a little tornado to be had around you because you're starting to align with your highest good, that it will, you know, resonate with the highest good for everybody involved.
Oh, I love it. Love that you said that because that is truly what happens. We often get scared of speaking our truth because we feel truth hurts, right?
Mhm.
And that is what's happening. That in the moment it might feel like, oh, it was something different from me, but literally that's all that it is. And then there's a recalibration happening. Your truth is a gift because it allows them to be in their truth as well. It allows them to realign their world, and sometimes your worlds will match, and you'll find like your happy balance. Sometimes for some things it might be like, okay, I'm going to do it this way without you, and I'm going to do it with another friend or so on. And these are the things that we're going to do together. But it allows more happiness. It actually allows more expansion. Truth is liberating. Truth is
Mm.
not limiting. It might just feel daunting, scary, but take that bite because it's good for everybody.
And how does that truth translate into money? Because I know being rewarded and asking for the right pricing is stuff that you work with your clients on, and so I bet that there's a way
Of
that
course.
this translates, right? Do you feel that people are not being truthful enough in their businesses, which is why they're not achieving enough in their business? How does that work?
Yes, and I'm so glad that you've picked up this undercurrent because there'll be times when, especially when coaches are just starting out, and I've had that for a really long time till I've overcome it. You freeze around the prices or you lower your prices. And what's really happening is that not you are untruthful, but there's an essence of, well, maybe I'm not worthy. Maybe I can't say this. Like if I go back to the lunch example, and even when I was with my husband, yes, we were not really working out, but he'd not really ever said that you can't have this food. I was doing it to myself. I was being the untruthful person there because I wanted something and I was just not giving myself permission to think and order the food that I wanted to order.
Hmm.
When we are saying a price, we are telling that, oh, this is my worth. This is how much this service costs because of the transformation that it will bring for you. So it's a gift to them as well when we can express that truth. The more we can be in the truth, it, when that is our frequency where everybody is coming in, if they're coming in with the vibration of truth, because we have been very honest with ourselves, we've said that, oh, I'm worth this much, the results are going to be this much, so you step in there. When they step in there, they're stepping into their truth as well. Whereas if you're bringing them with, not that you're trying to be dishonest, but if you have lowered your price, then you have sort of dimmed your light. And then when they enter that portal, they're dimming their light too, because the portal itself did not have enough light to begin with. So when you say the truth, you've allowed light to enter, and then they can bring that in and they actually get a lot more expansion. So your truth is such a gift to the whole world, and it will translate to money. It will translate to bigger, better transformation because it is that open, that aware, that expansive space.
Mm.
I'll give examples there. So maybe like when I looked at money, and I'm the same coach. I've tried doing this for my country back in India, and I really lowered my prices. And because I wanted to reach out to a lot more people in India, I kept it affordable for them, but still like a good entry level. And I'm the same coach teaching people in other countries as well, teaching people there as well. The level of transformation that they could have, not that they did not try, the level of transformation they could have wasn't as big. Like it brought peace into their life. They were able to change things. They were able to sleep better. I had a client of mine who had migraine, and so she got enough peace that she didn't have to go to the doctors, and she was able to find peace. Right? That's what happened because the price was lower. It was still good, but it was not great. It was not wow. Whereas I work with my clients here, and if I give you examples of what's happened there, there's a lady who came to me because she wanted to write a book for about 7 years she'd been carrying in her head. And there was just something going on with her that whenever she wanted to really write, and it was something that wasn't going away, but whenever she wanted to write, she would freeze up. Her body would start having literally some ache or something. She would be in bed for a few days. And she's like, I really need to write this book and I don't know how. We worked together, and within a month she has now finished her book. She's actually doing her cover. It's all done. And there's so many other examples like that. When the full price conversation happens, because the transformation that they are allowed to, the portal that they're entering is fully transformated, they can really experience big shifts and big results. So money is such a service when you are bringing in the full money for yourself and allowing another person to invest fully in themselves. When they invest with the full price, then they are also investing in their own self-worth. That itself is activating for them because it tells them, well, I'm worthy enough that I can invest this much on me and I can have this level of transformation and growth.
Mm. Well, that's so good. I want to hear it twice. So they are able to make the investment because their belief is in their self-worth.
Yes. So if you have lowered the price, let's say whatever your price is, right? Maybe let's say just ballpark $1,000. And let's say you lower that to $500 for someone. You say, well, I see your situation and now I'm going to make it $500 for you. And they come in $500. What they haven't been able to do with that $500, because that is just comfortable for them. So they haven't really expanded their energy in the process.
Hmm.
500 was like just a meh, and they could afford it. They said, okay, I'll do $500. They haven't shifted their energy enough. The money exchange itself is where the transformation starts happening. And that is that container where it starts happening. So if it's just 500, if it was comfortable enough, if that energy is coming from comfortable enough, well, I'll do this, then this is a little bit of energy like, well, maybe I'll do this, maybe I won't do this, and maybe I'll fully do this, we'll see how it is. It's a little bit more testing energy.
Hmm.
Whereas if they come in fully and they have put in the full price, and it's a little bit of a stretch for them, they have stretched their energy out, and then they're going, well, this is a stretch for me. I really want to do this. I'm fully invested in this. I'm going to make this work, and I'm going to have such brilliant results. So all of a sudden, you've moved from the mindset of someone who's coming in fully leaned in, fully ready to soak in. And you'll see that again and again. I just ask you to maybe do an experiment. Get in clients with full price, get in clients where you're giving a discount, and you'll just find the energy mismatch, especially for coaches who are getting people on a transformation journey.
Yes, absolutely. And when you do discount, because I know from an experience in the last year where someone kind of negotiated, this is what I can afford, and it was a monthly payment. And anytime that payment came in, I just felt my heart drop. I was like, doesn't feel good. I was like, this doesn't feel good. This is like not feeling right at all. And we had a conversation, and she pushed back for sure when I suggested that it doubled or whatever it was, because it wasn't that big an amount. But I stuck to my guns, and now the relationship and the transformation and the energy is improving, because it has to feel good. It has to be a win-win-win-win-win, right? That's what I always ask for in life. We like, my highest good means that'll resonate with the highest good of everyone. It's like everybody should be rising. A rising tide raises all the boats, so we should be all allowing this thing to be rising around us. And there's an element of, people feel when someone's struggling around them that they have to lower themselves, that they have to come down to that level. But the analogy I would use is, if you're in a boat and someone is drowning, you don't jump in the water. Don't jump in the water with them, right? You've got to stay in the boat and pull them in, right? You have to bring them up to your level, and they will come, they will gladly come, because they'll see that you've got more stability, you've got the resources that you need. So yeah, don't jump out of the boat.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, especially for all the light workers, we struggle with wanting to be liked. And because we want to really impact as many people as we can, we really want to spread that light. But it's a similar example that when you are the candle or when you are the lighthouse, it's your job is to be the candle. And of course, sometimes people will go look at the candle and they'll be like, wow, it's lit up. And, I want to be near here. And then some people might say, how dare you? Because it's such a dark room. And how come you are shining your light? But that's your job. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be the candle. So you be the candle, you do you, and let people rearrange around you. Because even if people are not coming into your light, that's absolutely okay. Like if somebody cannot come into your circle and get your transformation for whatever reason, that is absolutely okay. But just the fact that they can see you shining in your light, that already is a gift and a service to them. Your expansion is a gift to the world. Whether they enter your world as a paying client or a free person or not at all, it is still a gift to the world.
Definitely. Yeah. So where do you go from there? So when we have this, we create something, right? And we're ready to share it with the world. We're ready to be visible. How do you encourage people when they don't seem to be getting the results that they would like yet?
And that's when I'd ask them to start looking at their calling or their inner guidance. What is it telling them? In our world, we have lots of gurus who tell us this is how you do it, this is the website that you do, this is the strategy, this is the funnel, this is the app that you make, like thousands of things. This is the podcast, this is blah, blah, blah. There's just so many things to do. And you start with you. Seriously, it's that easy. You start with you. You start with what sings in your heart. What is your passion? You start doing that first. When you serve from a place that is full, you will get more fullness back. So I always say that start with the place that really resonates very deeply with you. For some people, for example, for you, it might be singing sometimes, it might be doing a podcast. There are other clients who love to speak, in my case, and we haven't really gone out and done anything with Instagram or websites, but we've literally just worked on that process because that was very energizing for them. But find your energy essence. Find what it is you like get really clear around what is energy draining for you, take that off, get really clear around what is energy giving for you, and then hone in on all that energy giving stuff and whatever gives you energy. And I bet you there's stuff there that will lead to more visibility and more clients just automatically. But just hone in on that and do that. Do you better.
I love that. Do you better. That's awesome. Really, really, that's a beautiful phrase. And it brings to mind something that's, because I've had, a pause in my online business and frustration with being on Zoom and, being separated from real people because a lot of the work that I've been doing in the past 5 years since COVID has been online. And I have more in-person things starting now. And I've got, that's just starting to really light me up. So I think we spend some time, we see outside of us what other people are doing, and we think, oh, I'll have to have my online group program, or I do my online this, or, there's lots of shiny objects out there. But I knew what I needed was to be around people. And so that's my latest change, because where I've been living here in America has been like a whole new community. I didn't have a lot of support to be in the community. So it's taken me some time to take those steps. And that's what I'm leaning into, doing more of me.
Yeah, and you'll find that the more you do you, the more your business just starts because when you start doing the work, it just brings you a natural smile. Before people come even into your field, they're actually attracted by your energy. Before they read your post, they sense you. There's like these energetic undercurrents that our heart is a center. Our heart is an electromagnetic center.
Hmm.
Like at all the other body chakras, but heart's been studied so much that when your heart field is vibrating, it is actually attracting those people who are really aligned with you. And they're just coming into your field automatically. Actually, I said that all really stupidly, but
I thought that
your
made a
heart.
lot of sense.
No, I said when your heart is vibrating. Well, your heart is vibrating all the time. But what I mean to say is that your heart is always emitting that field, that electromagnetic field where people will come into your space, and people who are really resonant with your message will come to you. So just do you first. And it's good that you are in a place where you feel more energized, you're more with people, because that brings out the shiny, smiley you.
Hmm. That's my best self. That's the one I want to be every day.
Yes. And then that even feels like less work. It feels more enjoyable. It just feels easier.
Absolutely. Whoa, I'm so excited. And I know that you work with people all over the world. And what is it you would like to say to the listeners? Like, what's the one thing that you want people to really remember from our conversation today?
Oh, I'd say that if you have a calling and you feel like this is something that I want to do, and then you're also thinking like, gosh, this is so big, I'll never do this, or how will I do this step, and so on, I'd encourage you just to take a step back. Think of it this way, right? The universe chose you for an idea. Universe is actually funneling an idea through you, and it's asking you that, hey, go ahead and do this. So now before you start thinking, how am I going to be on stage? How am I going to write this book? How am I going to get it published? How am I going to do this song or dance or whatever it is? And you start going down the rabbit hole of, I don't know the right people and so on. Take a pause. That's not required. That's very, very far out. Be in the here and now. You've got a little idea. You think it's a big idea, but for the universe that is funding everything, it's a little idea because the universe creates everything around you. So the universe is giving you one idea. Universe has chosen you. So it's not making mistakes. It's chosen you. It knows what it's doing. Just trust that and lean in. Take the first baby step. And maybe that is just that you sing the little bit that you need to, you write the little bit that you need to, and then ask, okay, what do I need to do next? That's it. If you have a calling, know that it's bigger than you, know that you are the chosen one, and just do the little baby step. That's it. That's all your job is.
You make it sound very simple. And I think it is that simple when we have a little bit of support around us, when we get those reminders. And, I think we all need those reminders. Not everybody will get it. And you spoke to this earlier, but when we have that little kernel of an idea and it drops in, no one else can see that the way you see it. And until you nurture it a little, you won't be able to even explain what it is that you want to do to anybody else. You have to sit with it. And I think this is one of the things that I think people forget is, we've got daylight and we have nighttime, and the nighttime and the burrowing under the covers or a sowing of a seed deep in the soil where we kind of hide the little baby. The baby doesn't come out like, burst through on day one. It has a time of incubation. So sometimes those ideas need the darkness. They need us to hold them tight. We don't need to tell everybody. We need to find our own little small steps. And I think that what you said is, it's genius, right? Because you're reminding yourself that you do have a place in the world, that this idea is not a mistake, and you just need to do one small thing. And one small thing can be tiny. And as long as you keep taking one small step, you can go very, very far.
Yeah, and then I love your idea around support as well, that yes, you want to be surrounded with people who are thinking like that. So if that is your next level, then you can start thinking of, well, these are people that inspire me. Follow them on Instagram, read the stories, but just up level yourself in the terms of thinking. People where you feel inspired, not where something in your body goes, gosh, I have to do so much. No, not that energy, but people who inspire you. And you'll automatically start finding them, because when you are on that up level frequency, automatically your body is also matching up and getting ready. When you hear them over and over again, the way they're saying their things and the things that are already true for them, and even just the way you're listening to this podcast right now, it's like, gosh, okay, I can do this, because for us, it's a reality. Like, this is what we wake up, do every day.
Completely. I mean, I didn't know in 2015 that my business was going to look how it does now. All I was told was do a singing workshop for adults. And then the next thing, my life took on a completely new meaning. And it was just taking one little step at a time, just like you're saying. It's been beautiful to talk to you today, Kanika. I really appreciate you taking the time. And I'd encourage you, if you're listening, to connect with Kanika. I'm going to be putting her links in the show notes. We would both love to hear from you, because we've both been in that position of not knowing who to share our little precious ideas with. And so we're really open to that. You're welcome to just email. We would definitely respond. And we look forward to seeing what you do with your business next, Kanika, and over the next few months. Follow her on Instagram. That's where you're going to find some fun and heartwarming inspiration. Thank you so much, Kanika, for joining me on the Resonate podcast. And thank you all for listening.
Thank you so much, Aideen. It was such a pleasure. And thanks to all the listeners as well for tuning in. And go ahead, follow your joy. You can find me at Kanika Energy Coach. We'd love to hear from you.
Take care. Bye-bye.